stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.
Hello and welcome to We Are Mighty. I am your host, LaTanya Cross, aka Mighty's Mama. And who is Mighty? Well, it was my son Miles, taken from me way too soon at the age of 24 as a result of gun violence. Why We Are Mighty? Because if you knew Miles, he was always resilient, he always kept going, and he was always encouraging. And so this show is just my way of chronicling my grief journey and hopefully sharing some tidbits that will help you on your journey, be it grieving a loved one, a loss of something material, a loss of a job, or any type of loss that hits you to the point where you may not even know that you're going through the stages of grief. And that can be any loss, just a deep one. So how have you been? How's the last couple of weeks treated you? You know, our last episode, I talked about peace in grief, which is kind of weird to some people because you try to figure, can those two things exist? And I hope through that episode, I showed you that it definitely is possible. And I'm learning the more that I embrace the peace that I have come to have or experience, it's bringing something along with it. And you wouldn't expect it to be a partner with peace. But I guess in the situation of dealing with grief, it makes a little bit more sense. What I'm talking about is guilt. When you're grieving the loss of a loved one especially, you have that fear of their memories going away, their legacy not being upheld if you don't focus on the grief. And that's not true. You don't have to focus on the grief. You don't have to be sad every day for their memories, their legacy, for everything that that person stood for to continue and to stay relevant. And I think that is the reason that being at peace, being to the point where I've accepted it, am I okay with it? Far from it. Do I still hurt over it? Absolutely. But I've accepted that it's beyond my control. I've accepted that it's not my fault. I've accepted that there probably was nothing that I could do to, quote unquote, prevent it, because when it's your time, I guess. So in understanding that and having that peace, it can still make you feel guilty that you are at peace. And I'm going to take a stab in the dark and saying that's probably the only time that you'll feel guilty about being at peace is when you're grieving. Because grief makes you feel like you should be depressed. It makes you feel like you should be moving with a dark cloud over your head, and you shouldn't be smiling. You shouldn't be enjoying life. I think we talked about before how there are times when I will go out and do something fun, and I may think about my son, and now I feel guilty because he won't get to experience this. I hear that from my oldest son a lot. You know, I wish my brother can experience this. I wish he was here to take part in this. And he feels bad that he's gone somewhere or done something that he knows his brother would have enjoyed. My son took a trip to Turks and Caicos and felt it was the most beautiful place he had ever been. And halfway through the trip, he was down and he was sad. He wanted to share it with his brother, but then he felt bad because it's something that his brother never got to experience and will never get to experience. So that's the tug of war that we have when living with grief. I don't want to just say dealing with grief, because I think dealing with grief is where it's the sadness, because you have to deal with the pain. You have to deal with the heartache and what's overcoming you. And when you get to a point where you're kind of accepting it, you have to live with it and still acknowledge it, I guess is the best way to put it. But it's crazy to be in a place where I'm no longer crying every day. I'm no longer waking up and begging God to turn the time back and go back to the day that I lost my son. Now, I won't lie. There's still days that I wish he would just bring him back. However, Lord, whatever you have to do, bring him back. But I've gotten to the point where I know it's not going to happen. It can't happen. I know that my son was destined to be here. He was destined to be here for the allotted time that God had set forth for him. That's the hardest thing. A few episodes back, way back in the beginning, I think, I talked about how we don't have control over it. Of course, we would want our loved ones here longer. I mean, even with a job, you get a job, and a job that you enjoy, you expect longevity. So if you get fired for a crazy reason, you're upset, and you're going to go through stages of grief over that, especially if it was a good paying job and you had people that you really got along with as your coworkers and, were blindsided by it. You definitely are going to experience grief, because you're going to experience the anger. You're going to be hurt. You're trying to figure out why this happened to you. You're going to be sad. You're going to go through all of those stages. And at some point, maybe when you get another job, maybe when you get a job close to that pay, you accept it. You accept that you didn't have control over that. Or maybe you did. You accept that you made a mistake that resulted in, you losing that job. I know people who go through stages of grief over losing vehicles. I literally thought that I was going to have that as another topic because I had lost a job unexpectedly. And the job that I took was a huge pay cut, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to keep my vehicle. I pushed. Yep, I hit it a couple times, not going to lie, but it happens. But that's also grief, especially if you're a car person. And I'm a car person, motorcycle person, whatever you want to call it. But there's different things that will put you into a stage of grief. And in every single one of them, you have to find a way to get to the point where you are living with it, not dealing with it, to where you have gotten to where it's not, I don't want to say it's an afterthought, but it's not what's constantly in the forefront. You don't want grief to be your identity. And I think for a little while that was the case with me. It became my identity because I just couldn't let go of that pain. I couldn't let go of what I had gone through. And it's something you would never wish on anyone else. And when you have to deal with it firsthand yourself, the shock of it, it's difficult to explain. And I would love for no one to ever have to go through that again. I would have loved for it to end with me, But in the 2 years since my son was taken from me, I've seen a whole lot more. 2 months after my son, one of my closest friends was taken from me with cancer. I still grieve that loss. But I had to accept that one too. She was an amazing person. One of the nicest people you could ever meet. And of course, it's like, why would someone like her be stricken with such a horrible disease when there's people out here who are just mean and you don't wish anything on anybody, but it's like hard to comprehend sometimes. Why does this person have to meet their demise and then this other evil person or mean person is just living their life to the fullest? Again, beyond our control. You have that guilt of moving on. You have the guilt of moving forward, of experiencing things. My oldest son, he can't wait till the day that he has a child. But then the second he talks about it, he thinks about the fact that his brother didn't have that chance. And so then he starts to feel guilty. I worry about how he's going to feel when he does have that child. Yes, he'll be happy and love that child, but I know in the back of his mind, he's going to have that guilt. The same guilt that I had just from literally realizing that I get to go another day, that I get to see another sunrise. Those are things that we take for granted. Waking up every morning is something that we take for granted. I remember seeing a quote and it said, "Tomorrow is an arrogant assumption." And at first I was like, tomorrow is an arrogant assumption. Wait a minute, what does that mean? And then it hit me. We just automatically figure we have tomorrow. We go about our day and we think about, tomorrow I'll get to this, tomorrow I'll get to, I got to make sure I call that person tomorrow. I've got to make sure I get that piece of mail sent off tomorrow. I'll wash my car tomorrow. I'll take the dog for a walk tomorrow. I'll ride my bike tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised. And every day that we wake up, there's somebody, there's plenty of people who didn't. And I think when you are forced to deal with grief, you start to see that more or understand it more. There are days that I wake up and it's like, wow, I was on the quote unquote wake up list again. My son wasn't. He hasn't been on that list in over 2 years. It's still hard. But we have to live for today. We have to move forward and we have to find a way to make grief a smaller portion of our lives. And no, I can't tell you when that will happen for you. I didn't think it would happen for me in 2 years. I literally thought that I was going to go through life, the rest of my life, completely depressed. Every day crying, every day hurting. I'll correct that because I do still hurt every day. There's a piece of my heart that's just, I don't think will ever heal. But I've accepted it, that I have to live with that because that's what's left. My baby's not here anymore. What lingers is the pain is the missing piece that sometimes blares at me and other times tugs at me. But it'll always be here. So the thing to try to do is continue to enjoy life, even though that pain is tugging at you. Continue to live life, even though that piece is missing. It's a new life. The life with that piece in it, the life with that person, the life with that job, the life with that friendship is no more. And so now we have to move forward with that acceptance. And some things can be replaced. The job can be replaced with a better job or a more enjoyable job. The car can be replaced with another car. And you may, for a little while, continue to feel the pain of, oh, I love that car. Oh, that job was so happy. I just don't think that the piece that's missing tugs at you as much as the missing piece of a loved one. But when you think about it, if you've had a job that you loved and were fired unexpectedly or for whatever reason lost it and had to deal with that grief and then got another job, how many times have you been at work with someone enjoying what they're doing, loving their life, loving their job, but then they would say, oh, I remember when I worked at this other place and, I love you guys, but at this other job that I had, it was amazing and we did this and we loved it. That's that piece still tugging at them. It's that missing piece from that job that they loved, no longer being a part of their life. Saying, don't forget. Don't forget the fun you had here. Don't forget the friends that you made. And it's the same thing with the loss of a loved one. There's that tug. Don't forget me. Don't forget that I lived. Don't forget that we enjoyed a life with me in it. And then that brings the guilt. Because you feel like you may have, for a brief moment, forgotten. I don't think it's necessarily forgetting. Again, it's just living with it. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your life. The grief will be there. The loss will be there. So live while you can, enjoy while you can. Find something that makes you happy, even for a brief moment. I can't tell you how to deal with the grief because how to deal with the guilt. The G words are tripping me up here. But I can't tell you how to deal with the guilt because I'm still dealing with it myself. I can't tell you how to deal with any of it. I'm just telling you what is working for me or what is helping me. And hopefully the tips can help you to come up with your own solution, your own way of addressing it. Because nothing in this journey is cookie cutter. Nothing in this journey is the same. I had a cousin who passed away just a few days ago. And she's younger than me. And yes, it's sad to lose her. And I remember when we were kids playing together. And then I started to feel bad about that because I don't know if it's because of the blow that losing my son was to me. I don't even see grief for other people the same. Then I feel guilty for not being so sad over the loss of my cousin. This journey is literally a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster, sometimes of depression. Your high functioning depression, and then just your completely disabled level of depression. And then you start to creep up to where you're feeling better and you're feeling stronger and you're feeling like I can take grief by the horns and I can just do what I want to do and I'm not going to allow it to take over my life again. And you're at the top of the roller coaster. And the tricky thing is, it's not always that up and down and up and down. You know how some of the roller coasters you go up and then it stays up and it goes a little bit and then goes around a curve and then unexpectedly there's that drop. That's the roller coaster of grief. That's the thing that hurts the worst. You can be up. You can make a huge drop in your emotions, and then you do that slow creep. You hear the chain pulling the car up, and you're slowly dealing with it. Not even to a point where you're feeling happy again. Not even to a point where you are 100%. You're just starting to feel a little bit better. And so you're creeping slowly. And this can take days, weeks. Of course, on a roller coaster, it's a matter of seconds. But in life, in grief, it keeps going. And you're lifting slowly. And then you're to a point where you say, hey, you know what? I feel good. I can do this. And you may go a few days just fine. Now the roller coaster is just coasting. A straightaway. You're about to hit a turn. You don't know where it's going next because it's a roller coaster. Is it going to go up more or is it going to drop? But one day, unfortunately, it's like the law of gravity. What goes up must come down. A trigger. Boom. Suddenly you're plummeting again. But the good thing about it is you're going to creep back up. Slowly but surely. Or maybe quickly. You got to be careful with that because that's when you'll quickly fall. But that's definitely what grief is. It's a roller coaster. A never-ending roller coaster. At least roller coasters, at some point you pull into the little station and get off that thing. I don't know if you'll ever get off the roller coaster of grief. And sometimes it feels like as soon as you are about to get off, something happens, another loss that puts you right back on the roller coaster or puts you onto a different roller coaster, a scarier one, a more dangerous one with faster drops and higher speeds and just more adrenaline. But eventually, you hope it evens out. And the roller coaster doesn't just have to be happy, sad. Happy, sad. Living life, depressed. It can be a good moment, guilt. Because that guilt will pull you down as well. It's a roller coaster of emotions. All you can do is buckle up and ride. And I feel like my ride has gone a little bit smoothly lately. Has there been ups and downs? Yeah. But I feel more like right now I'm just on that little, the little dragon roller coaster that the kids get on. Scares them half to death. But it's just kind of going in a circle. Going in the circle and then a little drop here. And oh! Lately that's been my roller coaster. I'm just kind of chilling. Riding with the babies. Wading in the baby pool. I don't want to get on those big, obnoxious rides anymore. I just want to take the little bumps and bruises as they come, quickly get over them, and go on to the next one. And it's a scary feeling when you get there, especially when you're going through grief, because now you're wondering what's going to happen next. I literally said 2 days before my cousin passed, I feel like something's about to happen. I hate being able to tell. I hate being in that space. But I knew something was coming. I don't know if it was just sailing too smoothly or I just had that feeling. But I'm okay. We're okay. And if you're not okay, you will be okay. Trust me. Take it a day at a time. If today isn't your happy day, if today isn't a pleasant day, allow it to be what it is. But get ready for that roller coaster to start creeping again. Because it will. No roller coaster stays way down. Doesn't even stay way up. Find your happy medium. And don't let that guilt pull you down. Because at some point, you have to be at peace. You have to be able to move on. You have to be able to go day by day. And it's baby steps. I had a good day today. Then I had a bad day. Oh, I've gone 2 good days. Hey, I've had 3. And you may have a bad day after that. But build on it. Build on it and don't feel guilty for living, for loving, for being happy. Don't let that guilt overcome you. Just like grief has. Keep fighting. In everything you do, be true to yourself. Be strong. And be mighty. We're here every other Friday, everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on Spotify and YouTube. Feel free to email me at wearemighty24@gmail.com. I'd still love to have you as a guest. I'd still love to tackle any topics that you'd like for me to look at. Until then, we'll see you next time.
They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no. They won't stop me now, they won't stop me now, they won't stop me, no.